Eagles fly. Let's peep the squad. Big Pat Shell and Dante the Dark Child. Drop the stats on them. Drop the facts on them. Spur game, baby. Let's get it on.
Hey, fam, it's your man Dante the Dark Knight, and welcome to Game Day. Our Philadelphia Eagles take on the Indianapolis Colts today. We're coming off a loss, and we want to see a lot of things today. We want to see how this team handles adversity, how they handle that first loss, and how they respond, how they bounce back from that. Can they bounce back from that? Or has the Commanders laid a blueprint for the whole league to follow on how to beat this team? We're going to find out a lot today. We're going to see how our team handles adversity. And I feel good because I listened to some people I respect in the sports journalist arena, and they kind of echo what I was saying. And when you hear your experts or the people that you look to say the same things that you're saying, that's kind of reinforcement or reaffirms that maybe I know what I'm talking about a little bit. So look, I'm here all by my lonesome. Pat is off. He celebrated his birthday yesterday, so let's send a shout out to Pat. Happy birthday, Pat. You guys did a wonderful job on the Facebook page and in the group and wishing him a happy birthday. I hope he felt that love through you guys' well wishes. So he's enjoying himself. Michelle may pop in at any moment. I don't know where she is. It's game day. I don't know. But you guys are here with me, so you guys going to have to co-host the show with me. So without further ado, you know I'm still on my sobriety thing, but I'm going to do the shots, no less. I'm going to not do the shots. I'm going to still announce the shots. So here we are. You are tuned in to Eagles Talk, the most unique Eagles coverage show around. That's by Eagles fans, for Eagles fans. And here on Eagles Talk, we like to talk about our favorite football team, the Philadelphia Eagles, and we like to do so in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverage in the form of shots. Again, I am on my sobriety thing. I'm not doing anything right now. So I'm going to just sip on my coffee here while you guys raise your shots, and let's get ready because this is the virtual tailgate to our Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Indianapolis Colts at 1 o'clock. All right, so everybody, let me know what you're drinking out there, and whatever you do, make sure you drink responsibly. So here we go. Down the hatch. Oops. I'm sorry. All right, here we go. Down the hatch. 3, 2, 1.
You're now listening to the first quarter.
All right, first quarter. So as I said, everybody's probably eagerly anticipating what our Philadelphia Eagles are going to do today after seeing them drop a game on Monday night that wasn't particularly a lot of mistakes. We turned the ball over 3 times, very uncharacteristic for us. What wasn't uncharacteristic for us was giving up yards on the ground. We continued to do that, and they took full advantage of that, holding the ball for, I believe, like 40 minutes. Don't quote me on that, but they held the ball a very, very long time. And even with that, some of the positives were that we were still in the game. Even with them dominating on the ground and dominating time of possession, we still had opportunities to win that game. You know, Quez Watkins fumbled, the Goddard turnover. If we had not turned the ball over, we probably would have still won that game. So although they have exposed the blueprint and everybody's going to be attempting to duplicate that blueprint, I think we still have an explosive enough offense that we can overcome that. Oh, there's my co-host. She's out and about. Okay. She's out and about. So I feel good that we can take care of this situation. We just have to see how this team, the players, I'm not too much worried about. It's more I'm worried about the coaches. I'm worried about Jonathan Gannon and what his scheme is going into this game, if he's going to make the necessary adjustments. Because one knock that we have on him is he doesn't make many in-game adjustments. And so he has a full week. Let's see what he does. Hopefully he will do that. He will make the adjustments necessary to get this team back on track. One adjustment we know, and we know one person that does make adjustments, and that's Howie. Howie Roseman wasted no time in going out and getting reinforcements for the defensive line because we're kind of banged up and we need that that rotation, because not only the absence of Jordan Davis, not only did we miss Jordan Davis in his run stopping ability, but we also missed him in that defensive line rotation because he provides a lot of he provides a balance so everybody doesn't have to play so many snaps. You've heard Fletcher Cox played like 70 snaps, way too many snaps for him to play at his age, and he's not effective. He's just not effective if he has to play that many snaps. So he went out. Howie went out and got Joseph and Sue, and I don't know how much they'll play today, but hopefully they will lighten the load on the rest of the defensive line. So I'm going to bring my co-host in now. So you guys just be ready. She's not where you think she may be. All right. So here she is.
Hey, I'm driving. It's been a long week of being out and about and traveling, but I didn't want to miss pregame because I got some thoughts.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. So you see my co-host is in the house, but I'm gonna go to the my other co-host that's in the room because they holding me down. And the first person in the room today is let me go all the way to the top. Robin Wallace was first in the house tonight. She says in the house. That's right.
Hey.
I mean, I'm sorry. It might be a guy. I forget. Is that Robin? Am I mixing you up? Are you a guy? I'm sorry. Richard Boo is second, and he says, "What's up, Eagles family? What's up, Richard?" BJ is in the house. Why? He says, why Eagles don't use Trey Sermon? He forever inactive. I thought he was hurt. I thought they said he was hurt. I don't know. Yay, Cho. What's up? What's up, man? Good question. Dion says, what loss? It's a new day, a new week, a new 8-game streak. Let's go. And our resident from South Kakalaka, John Batiste, says, hashtag South Carolina Bird Gang checking in. Game day, baby. Bounce back. Yes, that's right. Bounce back. Robin says, key to the win, run the ball to control the clock and score. If we own the clock with the lead, the Colts have to throw the ball. I agree with that. Getting back to, let me see. Well, yeah, getting back to this. This is an important game. Of course, I mean, we're 8-1, so it's not a dire, not a must-win game. But it's important in my eyes because we don't want that momentum to shift. We've had an 8-game winning streak. We're on a 1-game losing. We got 1 game, and we don't want that momentum to take over from 8 in a row. We want to get right back to the winning ways that we had before, because we've seen teams in the past do things like that. We've seen the last Pittsburgh Steelers 11-0, and they went in the toilet when they won the game. When they lost their first game, it just seemed like they went straight downhill after that. So we don't want any type of duplication of that. So to me, it's an important game to get right back on the horse and get back on the winning ways, and to punch the bully in the mouth, because I bet you a dime on a dollar. I bet you they're going to come out and try to implement the same game plan that the Commanders ran on us last week. That's what the NFL is about. It's a copycat league. Once they see what works, they'll try to duplicate that. So we've got to counter that and show that we made the necessary adjustments, and even if you try to employ that game plan, we've got to answer for it. So to me, this is a really, really important game for us to punch the bully in the mouth. If not, they're going to take our lunch money again. That's how bullies work. You know what I mean? Once one bully found out he can get your lunch money, the whole crew's coming for your lunch money. So we got to stop that today. What's your take on it, Deshelle?
Well, I think from a coaching and a scheming perspective, we went away. We kind of reverted back to last season, not depending on the run, not bringing the run in early on the offensive side of the ball, and then that prevent soft ass defense, it was killing us. We really didn't get pause on the quarterback last week. We really didn't get pause on Heineke like we should, maybe later in the game, and that's part of the problem. We go away from the things that have been working for us too often, and I get you want to try new things, you want to try new schemes, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's my issue right now, and with defense really has to step it up and get more aggressive. We need more pressures on the quarterback. And our run game, we MIA last game. And that's a problem for me. When our run game was hitting and Sanders was getting his touches and we were spreading the ball out and getting our other running backs involved, you know, we had a more balanced offense that can maybe handle some of the issues with defense if they're playing a little too soft. But at the same time, you know, Gannon has to dial it up, and he hasn't been dialing it up. And why would you go away from what has been working with us all season to get us that 8-0 streak? That's what's problematic to me. And I don't think it's the players that got complacent. I really think our coaches got a little bit complacent with the way they were calling that last game. That's my thoughts on that.
And I think a lot of people out there are agreeing with you, too. Here's some comments. Deion Jones, first of all, Deion got on Pat. Said, Pat, wake your ass up. You know you had to work in the morning. So, but Pat was celebrating. His birthday was yesterday. So lighten up a little bit, Deion.
I know. Happy birthday. Listen, Scorpio, shout out to my Scorpios. And that's where I was coming from. I was in New York. Celebrating my girlfriend's birthday and another girlfriend of hers birthday. So shout out to all my beautiful Scorpios, you know, finishing off their season.
Yes, no doubt. I think they got a couple of days left before we go into the Sagittarius season. Yep. So yeah, shout out to all the Scorpios. My wife being one of them. Shout outs to all the Scorpios. Raheem Hand says, "Go Howie Roseman and picking up the 2 defensive tackles this week to help the run defense." Yeah, and yeah, that's a good thing. But does that say that Jonathan Gannon is not going to be changing his game plan? Like, he's not going to bring an extra guy in the box, right? With the 2 additions. I mean, I don't know. We'll see what happens during the game. But, you know, usually when you're getting gashed on the ground, right, you bring an extra person in the box, right? You bring an extra person in the box. But I think Jonathan Gannon's plan and his game plan is he likes that nose tackle to take up those 2 A gaps. He's hoping that he's occupying those 2 A gaps, and then it's kind of he can handle the rest with the rest of the defensive line. So I don't know. I mean, Howie went and got the reinforcements. I don't know if he's going to bring an extra person in the box. We'll see. I don't even know how much these 2 new additions are going to play today because they just got here like Wednesday and Thursday. So.
Right. I don't
hope
think
they can give us
going to play that much, but what's his name? Joseph. He came in a few days earlier. Still just got here on Friday. So you know, so and we can't really sleep on Indy because let's be clear, they beat the Chiefs.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know what I mean? Early in the season. You know, one of the first, 2-3 games that they played in regular season is they got a W off on the Chiefs. So we, even though Indianapolis has a lot of dysfunction internally, they still have some playmakers, and we can't sleep on that. And they still have some decent coaching. So
well,
I hope Gannon and Sirianni are up to and Steichen are up to the task today.
All right, I hope so too. But I know when you're talking about coaching, I hope you're talking about like the D coordinators and all that, because Jeff Saturday is the head coach, and I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the head coach right now. I'm talking about all the coordinators. I'm talking about the coordinators. I'm talking about the coordinators right now. And we need Gannon and Steichen to step it up, and Steichen needs to commit to the run game. He really does. The run game. We should be committing to the run game every game. There should never be we should never deviate from our run game and making that a core part of this offense. Because every time we do, that's when we have problems. Every single time. So that's something that I think Steichen and Sirianni need to get on the same page with is making sure that we're consistent with our run game. So we don't fall into the holes where our offense isn't moving the ball or keeping the ball. The run game is what gives us the clock time advantage. But we let the other team do that last week. That's crazy. They use their own playbook against us, basically, of the clock management time. And that just drove me insane. I'm like, this is what we do, keeping the ball for 10, 20 minutes. Right. That was crazy to me. And we have the personnel and the run game to do the same thing, but we didn't even try to do that.
I agree. We need to get back to. Oh, there she is. Yeah, we definitely need to get back to um, running the ball. That's always been our bread and butter. I said it at the beginning of the year, but they did not do it. But it was okay because we were successful. We won 8 in a row, so I wasn't really harping on it. But at the beginning of the year, I always said that this. I hope that this team does not get away from what they do best, and that's run the ball. I know, and it saved our season last year. Come on now, we were struggling up until we committed to the run, and I still think that we have a strong running game. Our offensive line actually are better run blockers than they are pass blockers. So, yeah, we need to get back to what is a strength of ours, and we can combat that if the other team decides to follow the game plan that the Commanders use. If we keep the ball out of their hands, if we dominate the time of possession, if that philosophy goes out the, I mean, that strategy goes out the window. It doesn't work. Also, if we keep scoring, because our offense is putting up points, they do put up points. If we continue to put the pressure by scoring the ball, I mean, scoring touchdowns, that also would defeat that run heavy attack of the opposition trying to dominate the time of possession, because that other teams have tried it. That's why Houston came up just short, because although they gave the Commanders a glimpse into how to beat us, what didn't work for them is we kept scoring. So eventually, you can't run the ball and try to put up 30 points. You're not going to be able to dominate the time of possession and put up 30 points. You're not going to be able to try to make the game shorter by uh, holding the ball longer and put up 30 points. So it's upon this. There's some responsibility on the offense also to continue to score, because that put pressure on the opposition also. They can't run the ball as much as they want to if they're trying to play catch up. So the offense has to come in, and Kelsey said as much this week. He wasn't happy with what the offense did last week. I wasn't either. Nobody was. It was uncharacteristic for them to turn the ball over 3 times. But I'm talking a little bit too much. Let me in this quarter. You guys are tuned in to Eagles Talk, the most unique Eagles coverage show around. Where's my?
And that's the end of the quarter.
All right, so you tuned in to Eagles Talk, the most unique Eagles coverage show around. That's by Eagles fans, for Eagles fans. And here on Eagles Talk, we like to talk about our favorite football team, the Philadelphia Eagles. We do so in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverage in the form of shots. I am still on my sobriety. What day is this? The 28th tomorrow. So I'm on day 27. All right, so I'm going to sip on the coffee. You guys, let me know what you're partaking in your pre-game preparation for our Eagles taking on the Indianapolis Colts at 1 o'clock. Whatever you do, please drink responsibly. And we're going to take this down the hatch. 3, 2, 1.
You're now listening to the second quarter.
All right, I'm going to open up with a couple comments. I'm going to get you back on the show. Hold on a second. Christopher says, if Gannon can't adjust to the players, how he went and got us to be better, he needs to go. Too stacked to fall short, man. Yeah, that one thing I do like about Howie's moves are, I mean, I like the players that he got. I'm not expecting them to be all pro players or anything like that, but just the fact that he didn't wait. Like, he got on it. Like, you can tell he's committed. He sees the opportunity that this team has to go after the Super Bowl title, and he's not going to rest and let that opportunity slip through his fingers. He went out and got help immediately. Like, I don't even know. Of course, I'm not in the building, but I don't even know if he waited for Jonathan Gannon to say, "Yo, we need help." I think Howie's like, "Yo, what the? All right, I'm gonna have you 2 people in here by Wednesday. Don't worry about it. We can't have this." So Howie, I gotta give credit to Howie again. He's going to win Executive of the Year. He's got to. It's hands down, no problem. Floyd says Gannon got soft on the defensive calls last week versus Washington. They should have blitzed more last week and played a terrible defensive game. Gannon he didn't get soft. This is the Gannon that's been. If you guys examine, he's been doing this all year. The defense has just been bailing him out. The defensive line play has been bailing him out, but he has been doing this all year. That's a part of his makeup. Keep things in front of him. Keep the explosive plays to a minimum. And that's what he attempts to do. He's not too much worried about sacks and things of that nature. He just wants to keep the big plays off the board, and that's what he does. He's just the beneficiary of having such a stacked team, thanks to Howie, that these guys go out and get the turnovers and the such. I'm not going to say he's not responsible at all, but this is, he's not doing anything that's out of his character. Hold on, I'm bringing the shell in. Hey, all right, you're back.
You right. You right. I was singing your praises backstage. You right. Gannon is who Gannon is,
Yeah.
and he's always been that way.
No, he's just been reaping
That's
the
part of
benefits
the
of
problem.
having
You know
a
what I mean?
good defensive unit, man. But that's his philosophy, man. And it's going to be
Mhm.
so big to see what adjustment he makes, because he doesn't make many in-game adjustments. He's horrible at that. Like, he's been the beneficiary of having a good D, of this team being so dominant in the first 8 games that he's never had to play from behind in any of the second halves up until Monday. So he's not had to make any adjustments. He's not had to make any adjustments in the second half because this team has been so dominant. So
Because
I'm
he's had
curious to
talent.
see.
He's had
Yes,
talent. He's had talent. You've seen coaches, whether it be high school, college, or the pro level. When you got a certain level of talent on your roster, it makes your job easier, and you get dependent on that. These dudes are going to make the plays, and you don't have to do as much coaching in terms of your scheming. And that is part of Gannon's problem, is that having so much talent, I don't think he's really putting enough into coaching and scheming, to be honest with you,
I
because
agree.
he has all these weapons.
I agree. Ed Clinton has a remark up on the screen. He says Davis is a huge missing piece. Rivera planned to expose Gannon's lack of
That part.
adjustment. Gannon does not adjust his scheme, and Rivera, understanding this, kept picking at that. That's a great point you made there.
That
Great
part.
point you made there, Ed. Floyd says Gannon and Steichen are looking for the future to be head coaching spots, and they need to win to be considered head coaching job. And I'm rooting for them, not Steichen, but I'm rooting for Gannon. I'm rooting for the success of this team for a multitude of reasons. But one of them being, if we are successful, Gannon may get that head coaching job that he's been so badly looking for, and I would drive him to the airport personally. I would be his personal Lyft or Uber if he needs that ride. So yeah, I'm rooting for this team to do good things so he can get his dream job and we can get Fangio in here. John says start blitzing and let's see Dean in the game. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Dean. JT says run the ball, make the tackles, protect the ball. Yes, make the tackles. Run the ball, make the tackles, and protect the ball. I'm sorry. You got to put commas in there, JT. Come on, man. Help me out a little bit. James Nook says, I think Howie and Laurie are looking at Gannon with the side eye. His job is on the line for sure. I don't know if his job is on the line, especially with the success this team has gotten. It's hard to fire a coach when their unit is being so successful. As far as statistics wise and rankings and all that, you're not firing a defensive coordinator who has a top 5 defense. I'm sorry, you're not firing a defensive coordinator who has who's leading the league or amongst the leaders in turnovers, takeaways, and things like that. So I don't think that's going to happen. The only way that they're going to fire him, or his job is really on the line, is if this defensive unit somehow has a massive collapse and causes this team to go down with it. That's the only way. And none of us, not any one of us, is rooting for that. Not one. All right, I'm going to take you down. You look like you're setting up. I'm going to take you down till you get set up. All right. Yeah, Floyd, you're right. The Gannon is leaving as soon as he gets a head coaching job. Yeah, I agree with that. Donovan says somebody needs to go ahead and give him a head coaching job so he can go. Yeah, well, we got to keep winning. If we keep winning, our coordinators become more attractive. You know how this league is. They try to pluck the hot talent, the talent from those teams that are very successful. And us being a successful team this year with such a young coaching staff, all eyes are on our coaching staff. They can't, of course, they can't pluck Sirianni because he's the head coach, but they're looking and seeing like how he turned this program around in 2 years. 2-5 beginning last year, finished off 7-2, and took this team to the playoffs. And then this year he comes back, bounces back, and he's 8-1. Yeah, they're definitely looking at his staff and what he's doing over here because it's working. Looking at the development of the quarterback from last year to this year, yeah, a lot of eyes are on our coaching staff. So we you just have to be ready for that. That was one of the reasons why I said it'd be a good idea to bring what's Frank Wright, Frank Wright into the building, just so that we will have someone to slip in that coordinator's role in case Steichen is plucked from us. That was one of my reasons. All right, Bill Kroll says our tackling is atrocious. I hope new additions help with their attitude. Um, yeah, I hope so too. I think they just need to go back to practice. Practice. All right, now she looks like wow, she looks like she belongs now. All right, here we go.
Hey, how you doing?
All right, here we go. So
Can we
we just
talk about that tackling really quick?
Yeah, go ahead, do it.
Sirianni mentioned this last week or the week before about how, he kind of made the assessment that we're so busy going for the strips. And we might have touched on it on the last show I was on, but we're so busy going for that turnover that we're missing the basic fundamentals of getting our shoulder pads in the numbers and wrapping up and good fundamental tackling. That's also another issue for us because we're so used to getting turnovers and trying to strip the ball and pick the ball off that we've gone for the big play and gotten away from the play that's going to get us the ball back, which is actual tackling.
Right. And getting off the field. That's another area that we got hurt in last week, and we need to do a better job of is getting off the field on third downs. We had they killed us. The Commanders killed us last week on third down conversions. We've got to do better in that area. We cannot allow teams to continue to stay on the field and milk the clock because that's what they do. That's how they kept the drives going by converting third downs and and eating up the clock as much as they did. Now again, our offense can combat that also because if we keep the pressure on the opposition by putting points up on the board, they can't stick to the run. You can't run, you can't run when you're behind 3 touchdowns. You know what I mean? You can only run so much. Let's put it that way. You can only run so much when you're trying to play catch up because that's not conducive to getting points on the board in a timely fashion. So the offense has some responsibility too, and like I said, it was very uncharacteristic for them to turn the ball over 3 times, but it's only uncharacteristic if it stops with last game. We can't start a trend of doing that. Let me see. Floyd says if he wasted this team this year, he is gone. I guess he's talking about JG and this defense. Yeah, JG somehow the defensive unit brings this team down. Yeah, he definitely will be gone. Jeremiah points out the obvious. JG doesn't know how to scheme. Gannon, I am Smokey says Gannon don't have a clue on defense. No, we got a lot of comments. Fred's in the house. Want to see a strong running game today. We should run easy on this Colts D. That's what Nichelle was calling for. That's a key. Ed said Howie had Gannon's back this week. Sue and Joseph's. They just got to be good enough to fill gaps. That's right. We're not looking for them to be Pro Bowl players. We just want them to help out on the run defense, help that run defense play better, provide rotation, defensive line rotation, so everybody can get ample rest and don't have to play 70 snaps, and hold it down until the big fella gets here, and then anything we can get on a top level. I mean, like a high level a performance from them is gravy because you rarely find Pro Bowl players sitting around at the first or second week in November. So I'm not expecting them to come in and be a Pro Bowl player, but if they can come in and help solidify that run defense, that's all we asking for. That's all I'm asking for. Um, Ed tackling has been a problem for a few years. Yeah, well, that's what this. I think that goes to the new training camps and not being able to hit and just trying to get through preseason healthy. I don't think they are practicing the fundamentals as hard as they used to in years past, just to preserve the player's body so they can make it to the regular season. That's my
Mhm.
opinion anyway. Jeremiah says we gonna eat all the cornbread
All the
today.
cornbread
Nobody taking
today
our cornbread today.
with some gravy. With some gravy.
All right, yeah, this is a good one, Fred. This offense without Goddard will look pretty deep. It's interesting to see play calling. Let's speak to that because this Goddard is arguably the one of the top three tight ends in statistical categories this year, and we're going to be without him for some weeks to come. So how do we replace that production? Do we is it going to be a combination of the young tight ends getting those snaps, or are they going to move those pass plays to the wide receivers and running backs? What do you say?
I think we need to A, still go back to the run, especially with Goddard being out. Um, and B, utilize our weapons. Like, hello, Quez Watkins. Hello, Pascal. Well,
Yeah,
we're not devoid of weapons on offense. What we're devoid on is play calling. Let's be
yeah,
clear. We have all the weapons in the world to make up for Dallas Goddard being out.
and I think that's what's going to happen. I think it may be a mixture. I don't think that they go as heavy on the tight end plays as they did when Goddard was there. I think they give some of those pass plays to the wide receivers. Like you said, Quez, come on, Quez. I told you Quez was playing to be a Robin. He's hanging on to that third Batman spot by a thread. And that fumble, he's about to be a Robin. He's about to be demoted. But let me end this quarter.
And that's the end of the quarter.
All right, so you are watching Eagles Talk, the most unique Eagles coverage show around. That's by Eagles fans for Eagles fans. And we are getting ready for our Philadelphia Eagles to take on the Indianapolis Colts in about 20 minutes. 20 minutes. This is the virtual tailgate for our Philadelphia Eagles as they take on the Colts. So you guys get ready. Or what do you guys got on the menu for the game day today? Let me know in the comments. And we like to talk about that team, our Philadelphia Eagles, in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverage in the form of shots. I'm still on my sobriety kick day 27, so I'm going to sip this coffee. You guys, whatever you do, make sure you drink responsibly. And Michelle doesn't have. She just walked in. She just been celebrating too.
Yeah,
So
I'm just
yeah.
doing a limonada. I did. I'm gonna have a shot post game with y'all. So
All right, so here we go. To our Philadelphia Eagles, get hype, y'all. We coming back. We're coming back. No more lunch money being taken from us. Here we go. Down the hatch. 3, 2, 1.
Eagles Talk, the #1 Eagles coverage show on Facebook. That is by Eagles fans for Eagles fans.
No one likes us. No one likes us. No one likes us. We don't care. We're Philly. No one likes us. We don't care. No one likes us. No one likes us. No one likes us. We don't care. We're Philly. No one likes us. We don't care. Fly, to be Get along, right along. Watch your Eagles fly, fly, Eagles fly. And the road to victory. Eagles.
Yeah, that's right. Get hype. YouTube is not getting no love. I'm sorry, James. My bad. He
Hey,
said YouTube is not getting any
James.
love right now. I didn't see. I just saw. This is my first time seeing your comment. Actually, I
I
didn't see any
know.
because I get
Didn't see.
a different. You know what I mean? Oh, I see you up there. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I didn't see that before. All right,
Yeah.
you're right. All right,
Lathan has
here's somebody else.
Lathan has a good topic too after we get from our YouTube family
Give
here.
my YouTube family some love. JG is so bad that we don't talk about the special
He's
teams.
so
Dang.
right.
And
Dude,
we have the
he's so
worst special
right.
teams in the
We're
league.
so upset
That's
with defense and we
yeah.
just like we'll deal with special teams on another day. But Lathan had a good point
This one.
yeah, right. We need Jalen's feet. That's another asset. When you talk about the run game, part of that run game is Jalen Hurts.
Mm,
And we've been taking that out the mix lately. Let's be
yeah.
clear about that. The run game is just not our running backs, but it's also the fact that we have a quarterback that can use his legs almost the best in the NFL, along with maybe one or two other players.
Yeah, and that's becoming a bigger part of people's rushing attack too. Are these because this league is they have more running quarterbacks than ever. I think we seeing the Fields guy from Chicago. Uh, they are he's just dominating on the ground, and we have that type of quarterback also. So yeah, I guess we need to get him involved in that rushing attack also because that's a part of it. Whatever we need to do, we need to put the points on the board and stop turning the ball over. See where Sproles says he was ready to return kicks and punts. Yeah, I did see that. I saw that piece. Sproles and we need him. Yo, I saw a funny video. Somebody put a funny video. It was like it was clips of a wrestling match where dude was just killing the other guy. Like they was killing the other guy, and they was like this covey every time he returns a punt. They was killing the other guy, murdering him, like, and that's how he looks out there every time he feels a punt. Man, they just murdered the little guy. He's a little guy. He's not that big. So we definitely need the table that experiment because that's over. I think we need to give somebody else a shot. Is that I mean that doesn't say a lot if that's our best option at a return at a punt returner. If Covey is our best option, then we really, really, really suck because we keep trotting him out there week after week, and he's not doing anything. Not anything. He's as a matter of fact, I know he likes to check, but he's getting murdered out there. He's
He
getting murdered.
is. He is.
Ah. Trev says, let's go. You right, let's go. Oh, Tony from down under says, sorry guys, slept in. What I missed. You missed 3 shots. That's what you missed, Tony. You gotta catch up. Hold up, wait a minute. It's like what time is it, Tony? It's in the morning? 12. It's in the morning. Maybe not. Maybe not. All right. Christopher's in the house that every time the punt in the air, I pray he holds on to the ball. It's scary, man. Yeah, I think he gets the ball, but there's nowhere for him to go. Nowhere. Dion, yeah, we just talked about it. Yeah, Sproles said he's waiting. Would you give Sproles a call? Let me know. I mean, I
Yep.
know you guys. Would
Yep.
you give Sproles a
Yep.
call? He
Yep.
said he can come back and give us a playoff run. So maybe it's a little too early to call him now. Maybe we got to wait for a couple more games. Maybe we need to wait to like 3 games left just to give him 3 games to get warmed up. But he said he can give us a playoff run, you know. So maybe we got to give him another couple weeks before we give him a call, so he can come and get ready. Says I will take Hightower back to do returns. Who's Hightower? I'm missing it. Oh, Jonathan Hightower. John Hightower, the wide receiver. Yeah. I don't know. Is he still on the team? He's still on the practice squad or anything? Is anyone sick that Washington now thinks they're about that life, or is it just me? I know, right? Like, yeah. I mean, you know what? Hey, but to their credit, though, they still have life. I mean, the NFC East is so good now that everybody's in the mix. We don't have not one team after that that lost to the Commanders, we don't have not one team in the division that's under 500. Everybody is 500 or better. We have the best
Right.
winning percentage out of all the divisions in football. So, I am sick of them acting like they won the Super Bowl, but to their credit, they're still in the mix, actually. And if the playoffs started today, 3 of the 4 teams will make the playoffs. That's incredible.
Right.
Um, James says, can't put it all on Covey. If they are getting clean hits, this is on the block. And yeah, I agree with that. I've talked about it being about the scheme and then the such, because I don't even want to talk about them, actually, because they suck. I mean, we all know they suck. The statistics say that they suck. I just read an article, I think it was today, that said they're the worst special teams in the league. We officially have maybe the top team in the league with the worst special teams in the league. Isn't that something? How about that? How can that happen? I mean, how can it happen? We're that good. We're that good. Our special team is actually last, and we're still one of the best teams in the league.
Right.
Ah,
Right.
V says they need to give Devin Allen a chance. At least he's fast. Yeah, for real. If he can catch the ball. But
Yeah. If he has some blockers,
yeah, I agree with
I'm just
that.
saying they're already in his face before he even catches the ball. Has anybody paid attention?
Yeah, and that's on. I don't know. Like, do we even have? I know in years past we used to have special team player. I mean, players that special teams was their specialty, and we would have them just for special teams. You know what I'm saying? Do we even have them anymore? Are we just playing those players that are not the starters on special teams? Because we used to have like players. The name escapes me right now, but we used to have players that specialize on special teams, and our special teams seem to be better than.
Hmm.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Uh, maybe it's the coaching. I don't know, but I don't know if they are getting it, or I don't know. I can't put a finger on it. I heard Ike Reese talk about it because he said, look, he took pride in special teams because most special teams
He
players
did. He
were
did.
players that were trying to make a name for themselves. They weren't starters or anything like that. So they had to do whatever they could do to get the eye of the coaches, right? So he took pride in playing special teams. He said, I might not get in the game to get a hit, but I'm damn sure going to hit somebody on special teams somewhere on special teams today. I'm going to lay somebody on the ass. Do our guys have that mentality? I don't see it. I don't see it out there.
I don't know. We need to ask Michael Clay. That's our special teams coach. I thought it was somebody else.
We got AFC teams worried about us, hoping we lose. Yeah, they do. But I think we're gonna take care of this team today. I'm not going to say it's going to be something easy, but I'm hoping to be pleasantly surprised at what Jonathan Gannon and the defense does. Because I'm going to be upset if we give up over 150 yards again. That's not going to make me happy. I don't know about you guys. James is out there. He says our special teams is like the uncle at the barbecue that nobody likes to talk about, and only because he's family, no
No
one
one
kicks him
kids
out.
about. Facts, James. Facts. I
That's
couldn't have said it
facts.
any better.
You guys are killing me with these analogies. That's a good one, though. That's a good
Hmm.
one.
Hmm.
Let me see. They
He's
cut.
young though, our special teams coach too. He's only 31, so that might tell you something.
Oh yeah. See,
Like he's young.
and I guess like everybody's not a hit. Like
No, we need
we're
a season special. Clearly, we need a special teams coach that maybe doesn't have as much Similac on their breath.
right. Agreed.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
Because you have to know what to do with the second and third string personnel too. See, special teams is a hodgepodge of most of the people that don't start. You know what I mean?
right.
So you really have to know how to put together that level of personnel to produce special teams that are going to be productive for your team, and that really takes knowing the ins and outs of all the different players in their positions and what they can bring to special teams. Having such a young and new coach, this might be his first position coaching in here, because I think he comes from the defensive side of the ball.
Well, they need to get him back on there because
You know what I
this is
mean?
not his thing.
He was a linebacker, and they have him coaching special teams.
Yeah, sometimes it's just not the fit, man.
It's
And
right.
and we
It's just
gotta,
not the fit. It's
uh,
just not the fit.
and it's not the it's not this team's character to let something like that linger on. I mean, our head coach was recognized that play calling wasn't his thing, and he gave it up, right? Like how he saw the defense suffer in the run game, and he got right on it. Like it's not this team's character to let things fester too long, and I don't know why they're doing it. I think the only thing that's getting him by is the success of this team at 8-1. Because if this team was doing worse than that, well, definitely he'd be picked out as a scapegoat, so to speak. He probably would have
Mhm.
been out of here. If this
Mhm.
team was like
Mhm.
500 or below 500, they probably would have been made a change. But he's reaping the benefits of this team being successful. All right, that's the end of the third quarter, man. We got a couple minutes before our Philadelphia Eagles take the field, and we see them in action the first time after a loss this season.
And that's the end of the quarter.
So we're going to learn a lot about this team, man. I miss winning even after 1 week. I miss winning. Can winning come back? I like you, Mr. Winning. Winning, we need winning coming back. I miss you, Mr. Winning.
Mr. Winning. Paging
So
Mr. Winning.
yes.
Paging Mr. Winning.
E says, I love that we need a special teams coach that don't have a similar. I was saying
Facts.
similar.
It's
Oh, you're new to
true.
the show. He's new,
He's new to
but
the
he has the
show
right profile
one-liners.
picture. He fits right
He
in, though.
sure does.
Yes, you fit right in.
Hey.
Hey. Ed says 33-16 bounce back game. Our head coach is more familiar coaching their offense than their head coach. Yeah, you're right about that. All right. Yeah, he knows those coaches on that squad better than Jeff Saturday. You're right about that. John Batiste says offensive snaps today and puts up 40. Eagles 42-21. Yeah, put up your predictions up here because we got a couple minutes before kickoff. So that's what we're going to do in this fourth quarter. It's just go to some comments and predictions. What do you think? What I want to see is I want to see a return to the run game. I want to see the run game be more uh, prominent today. I want to see the turnovers and the mistakes cut to a minimum. We kind of glossed over those some. Well, we didn't turn the ball over much, so we really didn't have to talk about turnovers up until this point because we're killing the takeaway game. So we haven't talked about that, but we don't want this to become a regular thing here. So we have to see them nip that in the bud. And I think the loss was good in the sense that it's a slap in the face, it's a wake up call in case people were cruising or getting a big head or something like that. This was a good time to get punched in the mouth to remind us that we haven't won anything yet. And our quarterback has been saying that. He said I went undefeated on a top college team and lost the championship. We haven't done anything yet at 8-0. And that loss should have cemented that statement in everybody's mind that look, we haven't won anything, even though we were 8-0. We haven't even gotten to the playoffs yet. And if we don't continue to play at a high level, there's a chance that you don't make it. I mean, we've seen teams collapsed also. It's still a lot of we still got what? It's 9. We still got 8 weeks of football to go. So
Mhm.
this is not the time to let that momentum switch from 8 in a row to start to losing games. We can't do that. So we need to stop this losing right here today. I think that we do. And I'm not going to give a score, but what do you think, Michelle? What's the keys to this game today?
The keys to the game is Gannon needs to dial up the defense. We need more pressure up front on the quarterback on a defensive side of the ball. Defense has to get off the field. They can't spend as much time on the field. And for that to happen, offense needs to put together series and eat up chunks of time by utilizing the run play, going back to their quarterback that has legs that can add to the run play, and mixing it up with our different personnel on offense and keep the chains moving. I think those are kind of the two key areas that help us get back to greatness. And we'll deal with special teams next week.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah. I don't see it
it's
getting no
too late
better.
for
Yeah.
that. He 31. He's a 31-year-old former linebacker running a NFL special teams. Like, to me, that don't even sound right in my head.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? He needs a little bit more training or something, because that's a tough one. That's a tough one right there.
Yeah, and that might have been what I mean? That might have been one of his boys hooking him up with a job, like, yo, we gonna hook you up. You know what I mean? Like, think about it. That's how it goes down. Don't get it twisted. If I get a
Listen,
head
I'm
coaching job,
cool
I'm
with
calling
that.
my people like, yo,
Listen, I'm cool with that. I get the nepotism, but at the same
yeah,
time, something has to be said. And I get changing of guard and bringing in young talent. You know what I mean? As people that lead business and business owners, you have to groom the next generation. I get that. But when you're grooming them in the height of the season and not during the off season and during preseason, that's a different ball of wax. Like, there's still those, that gap in knowledge and that gap in experience shows up right now when it's crucial. Is
all right. Let me hit some comments and we're gonna get out of
we
here.
don't
Robert
have
says
time for it.
31-20. Um, Christopher says 30-21. I put Pat's up there. PJ says 27-17 Eagles, and Pat, our own Pat, says 29-12 Eagles. Le'Veon says, I think Cox will bring it today. We got new players in the building, and he looked bad on tape last week. Well, he looked bad on more than last week's tape sometimes. He's not having a great year, but yeah, he's not going to look any better when he has to play 70 snaps. All right, and V says, if Sue and Joseph play 31-17, if they don't, 31-28. Wow, that's a little closer. All right, so I told you mine. I think we win this game, and the only prediction I'm going to give you is us with more points than them. Yo, you guys go enjoy the game and come back immediately afterward, and we'll talk about it, and hopefully we'll be partying. All right, so I'm your man, Dante the Dark Knight, with Nichelle and Pat in his absence as he enjoys his birthday week. We'll see you guys after the game. We're out. Peace.